Welcome back to Forgotten Hollywood in my living room. My husband and I have been watching the show Blacklist for some time now, and we just finished season 8. When I first started watching Blacklist, I was really enjoying it. In fact, I was the one who suggested it to my husband as adding it to our rotation of shows to watch because we really liked the dynamic of the characters. We really liked the banter with Red and the crazy antics he did and such like that. Let me just say, I agree with all the fans out there that say Elizabeth Keen ruined that show. Why did Elizabeth Keen ruin this show? Because people have trouble, apparently, with writing female characters. They want to make sure that they have strong female characters, that they have capable female characters. And sometimes they just go to the extreme and they ruin the character by trying to make it better. It's so sad to see, especially when the character didn't start out that bad and then just, yeah, Elizabeth Keen. So, to explain what I mean, I would like to go over the ways that people write and in some ways ruin strong female characters. I call this the good, the bad, and the Mary Sue. Let's start with the Mary Sue. First off, if you're not sure what a Mary Sue is, I have heard it described as practically perfect in every way. This is a person who doesn't usually need help, who can do basically any task without really training or direction. They just figure it out because they're that good. Frankly, they become very boring. So I will cover two Mary Sues that I have seen in the movies. The first one is, probably no surprise to anyone, Rey from Star Wars. Rey is a character that was introduced in a way to make it herself very mysterious. Like you didn't know what she looked like. You didn't know what race she was, what species she was, gender, anything about her when you first saw her. And several minutes in, you still know nothing about her except that she collects scrap in the desert and sells it for food. That's really it. I think she doesn't talk for the first 5 minutes she's on the screen. But then when she does start talking, when she does start doing stuff, she just does everything like that. It just comes naturally to her. She went into the Millennium Falcon, Han Solo's ship forever, and fixes it when Han can't. She's never been in this ship. She considered it a junk heap relic. Yet she knew how to fix it when Han, the man who lived in the ship for decades, couldn't. That's the sign of the Mary Sue. That someone who has just unbelievable ability to do anything that's needed done, regardless of training or logic or anything like that. Or if there is another character better suited to do it. She picks up a lightsaber and holds her own against a man who's probably been training with a lightsaber since he was 5. And she can hold her own the first time she picks up a lightsaber. It just doesn't make sense. And there's no explanation given, at least at the time. And she's just amazing and wonderful, and everybody loves her, which is also the sign of a Mary Sue. Everybody loves her. Kind of like Elizabeth Keen, but we will get to her in a minute. The other one I would like to mention, speaking of everyone loves her, is Bella from Twilight. I read the Twilight books prior to seeing the movies. I actually enjoyed the Twilight books, at least at the time that I read them. And the movies just, I don't know what they were trying to do with the movies. It just didn't really work. But Bella is a character who is essentially the author insert. And an author insert, if you haven't heard the term before, is when the person telling the story puts themselves into it. And you can usually tell the author insert because they are the person who gets things right. They are the person everyone admires and everyone loves, and the bad guys are after and the good guys are protecting. The author insert for Twilight was Bella. You've got this girl who doesn't really have anything remarkable about her that most people could see, except this natural ability to shield herself from vampire powers that she's not even aware of. And then you've got this gorgeous vampire who's madly in love with her, and you've got this gorgeous werewolf that's madly in love with her, and they hate each other and they're fighting over her, and drama. Yeah, it's essentially a soap opera with fangs and fur. But what does Bella add to the story? Conflict really is the only thing Bella brings to the story. She doesn't bring much personality. She doesn't bring much contribution to what's going on. The phrase my husband uses, the girl who's the key to everything, which is a common trait, is to have a girl who's just the center of everything, and everything revolves around this one character, and they're the things. And again, Elizabeth Keen. Everything revolves around this girl, whether she did anything to cause it or not. You can tell she's Mary Sue because she doesn't contribute to the story. She doesn't really grow much as a character because she was basically perfect to start with. So how do you improve on perfection? You just don't. And so she doesn't really do much. So let's move on to the bad. What makes a character bad? If you watched my Meredith Blake video, you know that a character is made a villain based on their actions. What they do, what they say, their motivations. Now, sometimes villains are set up right from the start. You see them, and the first thing they do is they kick a puppy. Period. Other times, you see them kind, smiling, pet the puppy, give it food, watch it run away, and then they turn around and foreclose on an orphanage. That's a villain reveal, something that happens later that shows this person is not as good as you thought. As I said, villains are rated of how bad they are based on the actions that you see. There's an example I saw in a movie where the villain is introduced standing on the side of a building, having a conversation with someone behind him. The person is saying, I can't do what you're asking. It's a moral issue. Please leave. I can't do what you want. And the villain nods to his henchman, and the man is tossed off the side of the building. And that shows right off the bat the level of evil this character has as being a villain. You know, he's willing to kill on a whim. But then you have villains like, for example, Meredith Blake, who is introduced and then starts lying about charities so she can get out of supporting them. So some characters, you know right off the bat, this person is evil. Other characters might seem okay for a while, but then as the thing progresses, they start to go off the rails. Here is where I will actually go into Elizabeth Keen. Elizabeth Keen started out not so bad. You know, she was trying to help people, she was trying to do the right thing, and all sorts of stuff. But then, as the show progressed, it became abundantly clear that she had no sense of loyalty. She would be told something, even if it was a lie, and she would turn on the person that she heard it about. This person can't be trusted. I have to destroy them. Well, what if the person was lying to you? That doesn't even come into her mind. That the person might have lied. No. This is someone she trusts. And this person wouldn't ever lie to her, not Elizabeth Keen. So Elizabeth switches loyalties throughout the show from season to season, just based on who she trusts at that time. and who she likes at that time. So she'd go back and forth between loving Raymond Reddington, to hating Raymond Reddington, to liking him again, to wanting to kill him, to trying to kill him, to looking like she was okay with him, and then trying to kill him again. And it's like, what are you doing? She has no loyalty. But then somebody who has stayed with her for years and years and years, if they tell her something that contradicts something that the person she's known for 2 months told her, and she's like, oh, well, that's a lie because this person told me this. Well, this person you've known for longer, who are you going to trust? You're going to trust the stranger that you met 2 months ago because they're really cool. Okay? But it's not just her loyalties that gets me. This woman bombed a hospital. Sorry for the spoiler. But she bombed a hospital trying to kill Raymond Reddington. Now, they say that she had the bomb specially designed so that it would only destroy the room he was in and therefore only kill Raymond Reddington. Okay, decent plan. What happens if an orderly comes in? What happens if a nurse comes in? What happens if he's being transferred to another room and is in the hallway next to the nurse's desk or another patient when the bomb goes off? Who knows how many people could have been injured or killed because she put a bomb on his bed, but she didn't mean for anyone else to get hurt. And one of her best friends finds the bomb and is almost killed getting rid of it. And she's like, oh no, he was there. What if he had been hurt? Does that, make her change her mind about trying to kill Raymond in the future? No. She still tries. She does not learn. No matter how many times her plans blow up in her face and people are almost killed, she just keeps going because you know why? It is never her fault. No matter what happens, no matter what she does, it's never her fault. It's always Raymond Reddington's fault. She literally interrogated an injured old man until he was actively having a seizure and then tried to stop the doctor from treating him because he hadn't answered her questions about Raymond Reddington yet. The man died. And she turned around to Raymond Reddington and was like, look what you did. This is on you. If you had told me what I wanted to know, he wouldn't have died. Darling, you just interrogated a man to death and you're blaming another guy for not giving you answers that the guy who died couldn't give you either. Really? I mean, really? But everyone in the show, they all blamed Raymond Reddington. If he had just told her what she wanted to know, that man wouldn't have died. No, he wouldn't have died if Elizabeth hadn't interrogated him to death. Then he wouldn't have died. If Elizabeth had allowed him to get medical attention, he wouldn't have died. No, she had to have her answers. She had to know what Raymond Reddington was hiding from her. And it's his fault that the man that she interrogated to death died. Because if he had just told her, she wouldn't have had to interrogate the man to death. Let me go back to my how to tell a villain. Interrogating a man who is actively having a seizure and trying to prevent medical help so that you can get the answers you want before his life is saved. Those are the actions of a villain. This is why people stopped liking Elizabeth, is because she turned into a villain, even more so than Raymond Reddington, and he's the concierge of crime. Like, that's what he's called in the show. When she does things like bomb a hospital with no regard to anyone else in there because she wants to kill the one man who's in the hospital. When she does things like interrogate a man to death because she wants to know answers about the one man who won't give her answers. These are the actions of a supervillain. She had a bomb put on an airplane, trusting that her team would stop the plane from crashing, which thankfully they did. But had they not, it would have been their fault for not stopping the plane, not hers, for telling someone to put a bomb in it. And that's just the way that Elizabeth is treated in the last, I don't remember how many seasons or when it started to go off the rails. Then they tried to salvage the character. They tried to show, oh no, there was this other person working with Elizabeth and they were pushing for the violence. They were pushing for this. No. Elizabeth's actions caused a lot of damage, a lot of trouble, risked a lot of lives. Because she had blinders on, she could only see one thing, and she didn't care about anything else until, like, she almost lost her friend, and then, oh no, I shouldn't, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean for you to almost die, I just wanted to kill this guy. But that doesn't stop her from trying again and again and again and again. Another character that drove me nuts by the backlash was the Obi-Wan Kenobi character of Reva. Now, there was a lot of stuff that I was seeing online about people not liking Reva because she was black. That has no issue for me. My issue with Reva was that in the first episode, you see that she doesn't care about killing innocent people. She doesn't care about really anything except her own ambitions, her own goal to capture Obi-Wan Kenobi. There is a scene, I can't recall which episode, but she actually kills a kid on screen whose only crime was he objected to the murder of his father, which Reva also committed seconds before, and then leaves the widow and mother crying in the street by the bodies of her husband and child. And why did she do this? Because she was trying to draw Kenobi out by hurting the innocent. The creators of the show were like, no, why don't people like Reva? Well, I don't like Reva because she tortures and kills children. I don't like Reva because she's evil. She has all the actions of a supervillain. And then you want me to like her. If you wanted her to be a sympathetic character, show the other characters hurting and killing indiscriminately and her torn about it. Show even one look of, I don't want to do this, but I have to, is better than watching her snap a kid's neck. And that's why people don't like these characters. On a psychological level, you're seeing them do all these evil things that are generally, by everyone, considered evil. And why would we like this? I'm sorry to say that most characters fall into the Mary Sue or the bad these days. Doing things that are physically outside of the realm of possibility, even going beyond suspension of disbelief, or doing things that are just, they're bullying people and hurting people and just being tough and strong. And no, that doesn't make you tough and strong. Being able to beat up a boy doesn't make a character strong. Being able to stand up for yourself, yeah, that can make you strong as a character. But just punching a guy because they smiled at you when you didn't want them to, not a strong character, that's a bully. You might wonder if there's anybody I do like in modern cinema. Yes, there are two movies that have come out in the last couple of years that both have wonderful female characters. First, let's go over what makes a good character. The way we talked about what makes a villain is seeing the evil that they do. Now, flip that. How do these characters care? Are they helpful? If they're a bad character, they care about themselves first, generally speaking. If they're a good character, they care about others. They are kind to people who deserve it. They might be rude to someone who they know is rude. And a good example of this is Top Gun Maverick's Phoenix. I love Phoenix. She is an ace pilot. She is strong, confident, capable, a leader, everything that you want in a strong, good character. She also cares about other people. She has friends and friendships and bonds that are more shown than stated, which are great writing techniques, by the way. Love that movie. You really see what she's like when they start doing the flight tests, when she fails. Because how a character reacts to failure says a lot about them. And she reacts to failure with, of course, frustration and annoyance, especially since the first time she failed, I believe someone else caused her to fail. And so she was a bit snippy with him, but that was fine because the audience was annoyed with him too. So you relate. She was paired up with this guy who she had never met before, but immediately he's her backup, he's her partner, And she treats him like that. She doesn't make him earn it or anything like that. She's just, you're my partner, you're my backseat. Okay, we're together, we're stuck together, we're going to work together. Phoenix starts out by saying, we're the best they are. Who are they going to get to teach us? Because she believes she is the best. She's confident. And as Maverick points out, they've been told this their whole careers, that they are the best there is. They don't realize that they still have something they can learn. Phoenix learns this. She knows that she is not ready to lead the mission, even though she probably would have liked to. She knows that she needs to listen to what Maverick has to say and what Maverick has to teach her, and she learns from him because he is experienced in this. He knows what he's doing, he's done it before, and by his example, by his teaching, she can then do it. And she is successful because she is willing to learn. That's what makes her different from the Mary Sue. The Mary Sues don't have to learn. They're already perfect at everything. Whereas a good character will learn. You will see them fail, try again, usually fail again, try again, and then succeed. And you always know if they're good or bad based on how they respond to the failure. If they lash out, blame others, that's the sign of a bad character. If they're, ugh, man, I'll do better next time. I need to get better next time. I need to do better, try harder. We'll get it the next time. Good character. Another character that I absolutely love, probably more than Phoenix even, is Ghostbusters Afterlife's Phoebe. When you first see her, first scene that you see Phoebe, what is she doing? She's trying to repair something for her mom. Doesn't work out, not quite as she had hoped, but the thing that she broke, she can also fix. She's trying to help her mom. She's trying to do better. They move to the farmhouse. She starts exploring. She wants to learn about her grandfather who lived there. What was he doing? Why was he out there? She's very curious. She starts to study. She starts to learn. She starts to look at things. And she asks for help when she needs it. Trial and error. Catching her first ghost took her 2 to 4 tries. Shows her practicing and training and trying to get better so that she can be the best Ghostbuster she can be, even though she's about 12. I also find it interesting who she asks for help. This sort of progression. Because first she has her friend help her, who is about her age. Doesn't go well. Then they ask her their science teacher, and that doesn't go well either. Then she calls up one of the original Ghostbusters and tells them what's going on. The progression of tried it this way, didn't work out. Tried it this way, didn't work out. Let's try this way, see if this works out. And that shows her intelligence, that shows her capabilities, because being capable doesn't mean you can do everything right off the bat. Being capable means you know what you can do, you know what you can't do, and you know how to get help for the things you can't do. That's what capable is. Batman is a very capable character. Can Batman lift a car? Not without a supersuit. Superman, can he lift a car? Yes, he can. If Batman needs a car lifted, he can either get a supersuit or he can ask Superman to lift it for him. Does that mean Batman is a weak character because he can't lift a car without a supersuit? No, no. Everything else about that character says this is a very capable character. Phoebe may be 12, but she is a very capable character. She is very intelligent. She puts the pieces together. She figures things out. She investigates. She gets the clues. She puts it all together for the people who have the experience to deal with it. I won't tell you what happens. I would never want to spoil that movie for people. She does so well at being a character with growth. Hats off to McKenna Grace. I mean, it was a good script, it was a good story, but not everyone could have pulled it off as well as she did. It was amazing. Also, shout out to Monica Barbaro, the actress who played Phoenix in Top Gun. Amazing. But these are good characters. They have character growth, they have character development. You see them change from the beginning to the end. With a Mary Sue, you will not see growth. You will not see change. And if you do see change, it's usually bad. But actually, that's the sign of a bad character. If the change goes downhill, they just get worse. Mary Sue's will generally stay the same all the way across. Good characters will grow. And that's what I love about Phoenix. That's what I love about Phoebe. And why can't there be more like this? It's not difficult to write a good character. It seems the trend is to make someone strong, they must be a bully. And that's not necessary. You don't have to make someone able to beat up 5 guys in one time and place to make them look tough and strong. Now, that works with some characters, when it's believable, if the person actually has super strength. Yeah, you could have them beat up 5 guys at one time, and it wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility. But when you have someone who's 5'2", 110 pounds, and they're wailing on a guy who's 6'4" and weighs 2 to 3 times what they do, and winning, you kind of start to wonder what is going on here. Training will only give you so much. I know, I took Taekwondo. One of my sparring partners was about 1.5 feet taller than me and had 100 pounds on me. And he could literally stop me by grabbing my head and holding it in front of him. Not kidding, he did that during sparring one time. And I couldn't touch him. Literally, just like in a cartoon. There are certain advantages that big people have that small people don't. And so I love to see characters like Phoenix. I love to see characters like Phoebe who are intelligent, who know their limits, and who aren't afraid to ask for help. Now, there's strength for you to know your limits and to know what you cannot do. And the good characters, they know their limits. They can ask for help. Bad characters, they don't have to ask for help because if they fail, it's not their fault. They just blame other people. And Mary Sue's never fail. So, yeah. Mostly to know the Mary Sue test, look and see if the character ever fails. If they never fail, that's a Mary Sue. If it looks like they fail, but they actually come out on top, that's probably Mary Sue too. In summary, it shouldn't be so hard to write a female character. It really shouldn't. People are so afraid of making characters flawed that they make them perfect. And that just creates a Mary Sue. Or they try to make them tough and they end up making them evil. Just make a person that people can relate to. And that's the best thing you can do in a story. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you're liking this kind of format. I can do more videos like this if you want me to. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my take on the good, the bad, and the Mary Sue. Also, I would love to hear if you know of another good character, especially a good character, that is in a modern TV show or film. I would love to check them out. So if you have any recommendations, please, please tell me, because most of what I find are bad and Mary Sue. And I love when I find the people like Phoenix and Phoebe. Thanks for watching, and I will catch up with you next time.